today. From Seattle, Washington, this is Madden NFL 21 on EA Sports.
Just south of Pioneer Square here in the great northwest city of Seattle at newly named Lumen Field, home of the 12s. Today we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Here come the Seahawks. Time for that offense and quarterback Russell Wilson to go to work.
Gave the commencement address at the University of Wisconsin a couple of years ago. One of the most popular players ever to pull on the uniform there. Beginning of his career, he was a so-called game manager. Take care of the football, rely on the defense. Now, in this stage of his career, the offense runs through him, and it runs very well.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Steps away to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. There he goes left side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson, 65 yards. And the Seahawks have taken a first quarter lead. The first play from scrimmage. Some of these people haven't even taken their seat.
That's what is commonly known as a fast start. That's what my horse racing friends would say. They caught a flyer out of the gate. And guess what? They're in the lead now.
And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Fielded in the end zone. He will come out to the 25 as he will not attempt. It's a number 24 pick out of Cal.
And the tendency for most of these guys is to want to match things right away because they have a lot of confidence in their talent too. They just saw a big strike against their team, and you know they're thinking to themselves, I can get this back right now on one play. Well, if it's there, you take it. But otherwise, just go ahead and calm your team down. Run the offense. Get things going and see how things settle in.
A throw left side to start the drive is complete. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. Well, for the Seahawks and Packers, the two winningest teams in the NFC during the decade that just wrapped up. And during that decade, Seattle 2 Super Bowl wins. The Packers had 1. And these two, of course, they met in the playoffs a season ago as well. And it was the Packers behind 2 touchdowns each from Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones, who beat the Seahawks 28-23. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Shotgun now for Rodgers. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. That goes for a gain of 31.
A very early momentum changer there. Actually a dream killer for the defense because they forced a 3rd down. Felt like they had a good chance to get off the field defensively, and then they got hit with that big play.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Rodgers again now. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap. He locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. That's caught. It's Robert Tonyan, the tight end. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Touchdown, Packers. Mercedes Lewis, 39 yards. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it ends with a Packers touchdown. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. And all the way down to the 26. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. Not only another first down, that also puts him over 100 yards rushing.
That's not something you see very often in the NFL. We see it more in college. But I think with more of the melding of the college game with quarterbacks, we'll see this a little bit more often in the future.
Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's going to keep it. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Seahawks have taken the lead. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So that drive, 4 plays. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Taken in the end zone. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Packers offense here coming back out for their second drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Flush to his right. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Brings up 2nd and 7.
Throwing again on second down. Rodgers. And his throw here's incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Now that's a good bounce back after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive. Just 1 first down permitted and then out. Obviously no loss of confidence with that defense, and now they get to turn it back to their offense.
Now this is fielded in the end zone. And bringing it out usually isn't the best decision, but he turned it into a good decision with what winds up being a terrific return.
1st and 10. at their own 44-yard line.
Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. He's been elusive, very, very good at scrambling, over 100 yards rushing already.
Makes you think that you're going to have to change strategy on defense. That now he is commanded that you use.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Wilson being chased out left. He's going to take off with it. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Looking to throw again on second down. Wilson, he'll try and run it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. He'll run it. And he's brought down. I guess no need to force it when you can do that instead. First down, 18-yard gain.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy, because you know you can.
And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on first and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Back at the 5-yard line now, second and goal. Bind, and he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Seahawks are able to stretch that lead out a bit further. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Fielded near the back of the end zone. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive. Poor punter. Yeah, it wasn't his fault. Hey, listen, there's going to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game. Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. These defenses have become so opportunistic, and no matter what you're playing, in this case wide receiver, you got to be careful.
Certainly do, because there is a phrase in today's football that we use all the time: completing the process of the catch. Well, it's after you do that where the trouble begins, right? Meaning you've tucked it away, you're trying to get downfield, but someone's always coming up trying to rake at the ball and knock it free.
From the 34 now, here's first and 10. Throwing is Wilson, forced out to his left. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
On the keeper.
And that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it very manageable.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him. That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. They needed 4. He doubled down. He wound up getting 8. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. David Moore, the intended target. That'll bring up second down.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
Brings up third, and
there's Wilson to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete. And that is too far out in front of his intended target. Incomplete.
Incomplete. It's fourth down.
Myers' kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
The score is Seahawks 24, Packers 7.
So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points. Able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal and they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive? A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown, but they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
Coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think Coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now taking downfield, punching the end zone without turning it over.
Here now is second and 10, again from the 41. To throw again. Rodgers, slant to Adams. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On first down, Rodgers. They'll get this one to the Golden Domer, St. Brown. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. First and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. And he's got it. It's caught for a Packers touchdown. Aaron Rodgers hitting Alan Lazard. And the Packers make some inroads here on that deficit.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Extra point try now for Crosby. It's up and good, so they claw back into it. 24-14 now. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score.
The kickoff for Green Bay.
This is DJ Reed returning. The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
DJ Reed on the pass. The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Dancing to his left. He's going to take off with it. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Wilson steps away to his left. Looking left side, that's caught by Moore. And he makes it all the way down to the 13-yard line. From the 13 now, they work on first and 10. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. And, all right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
The Packers set to get the football first, and they are trailing on the scoreboard as we resume action, ready for the third quarter. Fielded in the end zone, and the half will begin with a touchback. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys are tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Rodgers will try again on second down. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. Just his second catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Packer first down.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Being chased down left. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at second down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
At the 39-yard line.
Now look out, Rodgers lost the football. Fortunate to get that football back, because trailing here in the second half, last thing they needed was to lose the possession.
And the word I think of here is opportunity, because it could have been lost there, their chance to score points. But the opportunity for the defense was to go ahead and really close this game down if they were able to get possession.
He's got to hook up to Lazard. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Preston Smith in there to drop him for a loss on the play. We sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle. A 2nd and 10 now. Buying time to his left. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. He's at the 30. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 73 yards. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was Russell Wilson finishing things off with a touchdown run.
Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Taken in the end zone. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25.
At their own 25-yard.
The Packers offense now. They get ready to head back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. To throw is Rodgers. And Adams has it complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Packers 14.
Rodgers now on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete. Robert Tonyan was the one he was looking for. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Throwing again. Rodgers got a man. It's Tonyan complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. Escaping. Now look out. Rodgers lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
With that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And out now come the Seahawks.
And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable 4th quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery.
Forced out to his left. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down. So he wanted to pass it, but that thing turned out much better.
And the crowd really responded, didn't they? They always like it better when the quarterback is scrambling around. Actually takes off and runs downfield. And that's exactly what he did.
Well, that didn't take long. 1 play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Dance, and he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson taking it in. And the fumble recovery leads to 6 points for the Seahawks. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up 1st and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they're able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown. We saw the payoff. But, of course, that big, long chunk play is what got him in position.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead is now 24.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
Fielded near the back of the end zone. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Green Bay offense ready to take over.
And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
They're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. Touchdown, Packers. Allen Lazard. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Packers Let's get a score closer.
Two-point conversion.
And he didn't even get a chance to settle in for that drive. A quick strike of 75 yards, and they find the end zone.
Don't you get the sense that film study was behind this one, that they saw something that they thought they could take advantage of? The key is calling it in the right situation. Knowing when it exists to go to it, they did exactly that. They've got to feel really good about what they did in advance of this game.
Just looking down at the sideline now, their defense is like, man, can you have strung that out just a few plays? Give us a break. Back out there.
Hey, man, give that water break and get on out there and play.
Steps away to his left. Now he'll pull it down. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Being chased out left. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. David Moore, 34 yards. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? The other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff position? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Extra point up and through by Myers. And they open the lead up now to 25.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
The Packers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Out of the gun, he'll throw.
Buying time to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 4.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and the Seahawks have recovered.
Rodgers on the keeper.
And I don't know that that fumble's going to matter a whole lot. You look at the deficit here in the fourth, it doesn't matter. The coach on the sideline still scratching his head.
Yeah, not only scratching his head, but probably writing a note or two about, we're going to address this come practice next week, because maybe that's the reason we're down this far. Doesn't matter at this point, but being sloppy throughout the game, not going to help him improve.
Forced out to his left. This will be caught inside the 10. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
I'm not sure what other ground there is to cover here. I mean, this offense has been amazing. Just total domination, Charles.
They've clicked so well, and if you really focus in on the offensive line, they've protected well when they wanted to throw the ball. They've moved people off the line of scrimmage when they wanted to run it. Smiles all the way around. This offense has been really good in this one.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
The Packers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
You're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. Second down pass play got them 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. Working from the gun. Rodgers. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties. And he's able to knock that one away.
Returning it is Moore. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory.
So not quite a first and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10.
Steps away. And he rifles one incomplete.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. Dancing to his left. And he's going to keep it here. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Well, to me, this leads to the question, do you admire the way he puts his body out there all the time, or do you think he should protect himself a little bit more?
Well, he's been on the ground several times with all those sacks that he's taken. So, I don't know, I kind of admire him. And now look at him go. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, there's just about a minute left in this game, and they're still taking it into the end zone. And you know they could have taken a knee there, but they decided to play this one all the way out. And I think their philosophy is, we're going to give you everything we've got. If we just go ahead and take a knee now, we're actually showing you disrespect that way, like taking pity on you. They're not about to do that to their opponent.
Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it all culminates with a Seattle score.
Jason Myers to kick off for Seattle.
And this one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of an anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. To throw again. Rodgers. Now look out. Rodgers lost the football. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Brandon, that's the third time he's fumbled so far in this game. And, you know, you can make excuses for each and every one of them. But the bottom line is he's got to take care of it better. And now that he's shown a propensity for fumbling it, just think about what the defenders are trying to do.
Yeah, well, guys hate one fumble, twos, oh my goodness, 3 or more. Wow.
Just doesn't make any sense, does it?
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. Steps away to his left. He rifles complete. Caught by Moore. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Now Myers for the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. They certainly made quick work of that, ultra quick work. One of the fastest drives you'll ever see, just one play resulting in the touchdown. And After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
The Packers take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Now the Packers get set to go. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going
Exactly.
forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
He'll get this to Lazard. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
First down, Packers.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And
Pa, mo, e, i, te, pa.